Welcome to another episode of the Morning After Podcast. I'm Eli Olsberg.
I'm Jake Weissman.
I just want to remind everyone, brought to you by Fire TV this week, a.k.a. the Netflix of porn. What were you going to say, Jake?
I was just going to say it's FYRETV.com.
That's right. And you get a free movie when you join, and it's free to join. That's 2 frees in one. Is there a limit
How
to
many
free?
frees do you want? There's no limit to freedom, but honestly, this is a lot of freedom.
Yeah, exactly. So, and they're putting the free in freedom.
Mm-hmm. And please, they're a sponsor. Please help them out. And you watch porn anyway. This is HD streaming right to your TV. It's great.
Exactly. So, who do we have on today, Jake?
We have Megan Gans, who is a writer for Community, and we have the former Misti Dawn, who is a nerd.
Yeah, also a very funny lady.
Yes.
So here we go.
We're here with Misti Dawn and Megan Gans. We're having a great time already.
Yeah, we haven't even started yet.
Yeah.
Hi, Megan Gans. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Got my hands on my hips. Feeling really good right now.
Looking good.
Really owning this Saturday. Just so people know a little bit about you, you were a writer and editor for The Onion for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
And then
for 3 years.
3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you were also a writer on Important Things with Dimitri Martin on Comedy Central.
Yep.
And now this is your second year writing with Community on NBC.
Yep.
Which is on Thursdays, right?
It's on Thursdays at, 8.
Let's go
8
with 8.
o'clock.
Sure, yeah.
8 o'clock.
That's always, it's been 8 o'clock previously, right?
It's 8 o'clock.
And when, do you know when the season premieres yet?
September sometime. I don't know exactly when.
Keep all of September, and we'll get it.
Yeah. Just watch everything all September long, and you'll eventually see it.
Exactly. Just you can maybe take from midnight to 6 off.
Yeah.
Those would be the
I mean, you
sleeping
could
hours.
localize to just NBC, but I would just encourage multiple TVs and just check it all out.
Right.
Hoarders is also very good. So.
Meow Misty Dawn, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I just called you by your site name, which is kind of
It's
weird.
fine.
But
I like cats. It
Oh,
works.
okay. We'll talk about
too.
that later.
Okay.
We'll get to the
We
cat
can talk
stuff.
about it right now. I mean, that's fine. No,
Slow
okay,
down.
fine now.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about you. Your website is meowmistydawn.com.
It's true.
On Twitter, you're also at meowmistydawn.
I am.
And you currently need help on Twitter.
I do. Someone has hacked my account. And
Really?
Yes, they have. They hacked it within an hour of me posting, and they've had it for 2.5 weeks. And I didn't have my Twitter while I was at Comic-Con, which was awful because I had lots of things that were going to be great to share.
What kind of dark fantasies do you have about destroying the enemy that hacked into your Twitter account? And I asked that because I immediately got super angry, and I just want
It
to kill
feels like
that person.
such an invasion.
Yeah, it really
Even
is.
though what's funny about it is that you post everything on Twitter, so it's the ultimate invasion in and of itself.
Right.
But somebody can't invade your invasion.
Right.
That's
Well, imagine if someone if I don't know if you post jokes on Twitter or not, but if someone was posting on there really bad jokes,
Oh my
you're
God,
like,
I would
this
die.
is the worst moment.
I would
of my
rather have
life.
them post naked
Yeah,
photographs
exactly,
than
exactly.
bad jokes.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like Twitter's now currently in this kind of almost it's static where getting new followers, everything's just kind of frozen on Twitter right now. So if you have to start over, how do you start over? Well,
Devastating.
It's the worst thing ever.
yeah, we just really took, I think you already had anxiety about
and the
this.
debt ceiling, the debt ceiling, just in America. So I
If
get
by
it.
Tuesday my Twitter isn't fixed, the government shuts down.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I think that'd be fine right now because clearly it's operating and it's not doing very well.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's very
Hey,
true.
guys, are we getting political? What's going on?
Political.
Holy smokes.
Politics and Twitter.
And also you just signed with Triple Extreme Premiere.
I did.
And you also you kind of fancy yourself a nerd.
A little bit. A little
So-
something.
How was Megan? You also went to Comic-Con,
I
right?
also went to Comic-Con my first year this year.
Mine
Oh,
too.
awesome.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. It was awesome.
I went in 2008, and that's because I lived in San Diego. I think I like the concept of taking the trip down there and spending money scares the shit out of me.
Well, I went with work.
That's what I
That
was going to
like-
say. Yeah, you get
yeah.
to go.
Would you classify yourself as a nerd?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I read comic books and stuff. I used to be nerdy only in the social sense that nobody hung out with me. But now I'm then because I was a girl, I didn't really read a lot of comic books or watch nerdy movies or get into sci-fi. And then when I was in college, and I guess the end of high school, I was hanging out with a lot more guys all the time. And they kind of introduced me to all of this stuff that I thought was so awesome that I hadn't seen before. But I just got the best comic books and the best movies to watch, and because they had already gone through it all, so I got hooked pretty quick.
What kind of nerd are you, Misty?
I would say my focus is definitely video games, but
Okay.
I grew up, my mom was running a video store, so I always had the B movies. I was really excited at Comic-Con that Full Moon had a booth, and Trauma had a booth, and I got to meet Lloyd Kaufman.
Oh, really? Is he
Yeah.
absolutely nuts?
he was really nice. He introduced me to his wife, and he was like, "Hey, I remember you. I saw you on G4 before." And I was like, "Oh my God, Lloyd Kaufman knew who I was."
That's really cool.
That's great. I met him at a Borders in Fort Lauderdale. Not to brag, that's where
Didn't
I'm
they just
from.
close, by the way? Didn't
All
Borders
of them.
just close?
Yes,
Yeah.
which I'm okay with personally.
Getting political again.
Yeah.
Right back into it.
That's how this goes. Like, get ready for the next hour of your life. It's just going to really take that turn. Yeah, I remember I met him, and he had they had like Tromettes there, like the Troma girls.
Yeah.
But they clearly weren't real Troma girls. They just put like an ad on Craigslist, and they were like, Tromettes, come meet the Tromettes, and it was a girl named Hypothermia, and yes,
Terrible name.
Isn't it the worst Troma name possible?
Yeah,
Are you familiar with Troma?
I am not. I don't know it.
So,
Wait,
have you heard?
Toxic Avenger?
That's like
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I
There
know
you go.
that's like their logo, like that guy, because that was like
okay.
the first movie.
He's the Mickey Mouse of trauma.
Oh, so that's like the Justice League of like a different, right?
Kind of, yeah. Actually,
You know,
it
I
is.
don't read a lot of like, I guess, superhero. I've been reading like a lot of.
like graphic.
Well,
novels.
I guess that's not true because lately I've been reading Swamp Thing, which I'm getting really
wow.
into. But I'm not. I read like Why the Last Man and like Preacher, and like I was going through like weird.
I'm currently on.
those-
I just started Preacher.
Yeah,
I got the first two.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I like it, but I think I just got in too late, and everybody had already told me how amazing it
Yeah,
is. So I think it's
I
kind of
got
like.
in like that too.
Do you read a lot of graphic novels?
Not a whole lot, actually.
So
I put way too much time of my life into video games.
Yeah.
Really? What systems do you have? Like,
I mean, like I've had everything. I have PS3 and Xbox now, and I probably play my Xbox a little bit more, but I have the PS3 for the exclusives, for things I want to play, like when Heavy Rain came out and stuff. But
are you mostly shooter games? Like,
no, RPGs are definitely my favorite. I kind of stick on the same games. I mean, I just finished Portal 2, but I always go back to Oblivion constantly.
Now, why do you like video games so much? I don't get it. I'm just going to be honest. I don't really get it. I never understood them growing up. I felt very left out all the time. I always felt like I wasn't a nerd growing up, and now, like, in LA and entertainment culture, I feel left out. Like, I feel like a nerd because I'm not a nerd. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, like, I feel like
No,
completely...
well, let me just say, from the few conversations we've had, Jake, this friendship's so new.
Yeah.
You're more of like, you're like a high class nerd. And what I mean by that is like, you watch like art house movies and stuff. Like that's
that
kind of-
nerdy?
I don't know if that's nerdy so much as it is pretentious. I guess you're just an asshole. You
I
know?
think that's fair. That's fair.
Hey, you can be nerdy and an asshole.
I'm definitely both.
Yeah.
Well, not... Yeah. Anyway, so why video games so much? I don't... Like,
I don't. I guess I never really like dug the psychological meaning
well,
of
let's
why.
do it right now.
Well, there was this one time when something positive was happening. Zelda was on in the background.
Oh, I love Zelda.
You saw someone
I played
give birth
Zelda.
and you were playing Zelda?
I
Actually,
played Zelda like all through college. I loved that game. I can't cross over. You said Portal 2. Somebody at Comic-Con was like, you have to play Portal 2.
it's pretty good.
But I can't cross over to the two joystick thing. I just never made that leap. Like, I really miss the N64 control that had like one sort of joystick, and it was like a little just more 2D, I guess.
Yeah.
And understandable. But I used to play Zelda a lot. For me, I was playing it in college because I was doing a lot of like creative stuff with writing, and it's kind of nice to know video games that when you press this button, this thing always happens. It's like it's like comforting that you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's like one of those subconscious things. I never really thought about it, but I think that's what it is. Because like you're in control completely, and it's such a guaranteed way of kind of controlling that.
Yeah, and there's like tasks,
true.
and you know when your task is done. You're like very sure when that task is done.
So you didn't play video games to escape like growing up in the projects and like gang violence and like I never hear that story from anybody.
I had one more question about Comic-Con, actually, because I've never been, because I'm not a nerd and I'm not allowed to go. I just wanted to know, like,
Pretentious
this is a
asshole.
weird question, sort of melding both worlds here. Do people like get laid there? Like, is it like a very sexual environment? Just like a bunch of really excited nerds? Like, is that at all a part of the culture? Like, I know it's San Diego, which is
You guys are 3 years
You mean
ahead
like
of me.
cosplay, like
like is it like some sort of spring break for nerds? Like, what
This is my first time, and that was not my experience. But I was in the
either.
professional side, and so I was just going to panels and stuff.
Okay.
I mean, like people were masturbating all over each other. That happened for sure.
Well, I feel like when I went in 2008, and that was, I think, the first year I was told that it like was exponentially grew in comparison to the previous years. There's so much to do there. There's like, it's insane the amount of overload you get between video games, movies, TV shows now are like they're even bigger
So
now.
it's not a giant party. It's more like
No,
it's like a
there's definitely
convention
like
center.
stuff going on at bars and stuff afterwards. I remember I went downtown to a couple places, but like you can come and go as you please. Like you don't have to stay there once you get your badge. So I remember at one point in the middle of the day I went and got like beer and stuff, and then came back and then just sat in Hall H for like 4 hours, which is the big hall where all like the movie stuff's unveiled.
I gotta write this down. Hall H.
Hall H, yeah, that's where you
you're
have to
gonna
go.
wait in line forever for that.
Yeah,
now.
I intentionally went during like some animated Star Wars panel, knowing it was going to be dead, and then I just had to kind of wait it out for an hour, and then like
better than waiting outside.
it was amazing, and because like afterwards it just became like it was a panel with like Judd Apatow and Kevin Smith and like a bunch of people, and then Kevin Smith did his 1 hour thing where he just talks about how amazing he is, and that was great. It was the greatest day of my life. It's been all downhill from there. So this hasn't been a good 3 years.
So related to that, Misty, super related. How did you start in porn? Can you tell us like sort of how you got it? We always like to have a little bit of background.
Wait, I had one more question.
Oh, you did have
about
one
the
more
video game.
question?
Yeah. Do you play the Wii at all?
No, I do not.
Do you play Wii?
I actually have a Wii. I
As
don't
do
play
I.
much video games at all lately because I've been super busy, but I like the Wii. The Wii, it doesn't feel like a video game to me, though. It feels like a
Right.
puzzle solving, like, because I bought the game that I play on it all the time is this, like, Rabid Rabbits one where you, like, do these little mini games and then you shoot rabbits in the face with plungers, and it's just, like, a dumb game that I play when I'm sitting around with my friends.
But it gives you control.
But yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm going to shoot that thing in the face, and it'll always work.
Like Duck Hunt when you were growing up? Do you ever
Yeah,
play Duck
yes,
Hunt? Yeah,
I
that
love
was
Duck
big
Hunt
for
because
me.
you could put the thing right
Yes,
against the screen and be
yes.
like, I'm doing this. This
Yeah.
is happening.
Take it.
I just feel like I own a Wii as well. I just bought one, and like I love it because it's so platformy. Like I don't know. I can't play games like GTA anymore. Things where like like it's too close to reality. I almost feel like it's kind of like it defeats that escape element. You know what I mean? And so and they also you can buy all the old SNES and NES.
That's the only
games.
thing I like about the Wii, but you can get an emulator on your computer and get a USB controller, and no Wii needed.
Oh, I didn't even think. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. So that's where the big money's at.
You guys are nerds. I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right. Well, all right, Jake. So what were you asking before, Jake?
Misty, can you tell us a little bit about how you got started in porn?
I guess I technically started right after I turned 18. I applied to Suicide Girls when I was living in Kentucky, and I actually had a photo set go up before I even finished high school.
Okay, so you already had a lot of tattoos then.
I got my chest done the day I turned 18, so I was still in high school.
Okay, okay. So you got is your entire chest covered with tattoos? Like you have like a chest sleeve essentially?
I have a chest piece, and it's
Okay.
just one.
Okay, and
But it's
so
large.
And so then you knew you wanted that really badly, obviously.
What, the tattoos or the
Yeah,
porn?
the tattoos.
Yeah, well, I never really thought any big deal. I knew I wanted them. I didn't know that it was going to be any like life-changing ordeal or.
And so,
I mean,
but wait, so then you contacted Suicide Girls, or like how did you got the
yeah,
tattoo? And
I
then
just applied to them online. It was in 2004. And they approved me, and then I shot a photo set. And then I finished high school, went to college, and got a normal job, got laid off because the lovely debt problem going on.
That happened.
Back in the Midwest, where it is like the whole Midwest is just going to be Flint, Michigan eventually, I think.
Oh, where are you from, the Midwest?
Kentucky, Henderson, Kentucky.
I'm from Michigan. That's why.
Oh, yeah. I went
you
to
from
college
Flint,
in
Michigan?
Indiana.
No, I'm from Kalamazoo, Michigan, but
Oh, Robert Schimmel recorded a special there.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Robert Schimmel fan, so that's why I knew that. He like talked about Kalamazoo at the beginning. Like the Kalamazoo Theater, right? That's there?
yeah, they have like I think it's called like the Ford Theater or something. Yeah,
It's a good name for a town.
Do you, where did you go to school in Indiana?
Evansville?
Okay. Is that public or private? I don't know why this
Public.
Okay.
Yeah. University of
Now you
Southern
know, Jake.
Indiana.
so you had contacted Suicide Girls, and was that just to make money when you were 18, or
Yeah,
you
it was just something for fun. I didn't really think about it.
and then you were out of college, or you like were in,
No, I got let off when I was in college still.
Okay.
And then I applied to other sites online that did hardcore, and then thus coming in back and forth, I got in contact with even
Okay.
more. So.
So the switch to hardcore, because you were just posing for pictures for Suicide
Right.
Girls, right? Then is it like what kind of? I mean, there's got to be tons of emotional decisions you have to come to terms with in order to switch to hardcore,
I
right?
really wish I would have thought that, but I really didn't. I was like, oh, I'll go to California and have sex. It sounds like fun.
That was
Oh, and
it.
there's a paycheck. Cool. Yeah.
Really, it was that easy? And like,
Pretty
were you
much.
worried about what your family would think or anything
What
like
My
that?
kind-
family's really open. I've always been honest, so they've known all along. It wasn't.
And it wasn't a problem.
Yeah, like the only, I guess, like feeling like people have issues with it is outside of my own support system. Like my family's fine with it, and that's really all that matters to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Absolutely. How can I get to that frame of mind, just being that liberated, where like I don't have to worry about consequence. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like, that's-
consequences still happen, but
no, I know, but like it just like I guess you're right. That wasn't the right word, but like I don't know. I just feel you made it like for you. Clearly, you're that comfortable that you're just like, okay, yeah, I'll go do that in California. No biggie. Like that's it. Like just to get on stage, like that took. You know how long it
Years.
took till I was just like, All right, yeah, that's gonna happen. Like, okay,
Were
cool.
you
I'll
like
go get a
very
bite to
like
eat.
like besides being? I mean, were you fairly sexually open? Like, were you just
Yeah.
always very comfortable?
I mean,
and
I
everything?
wouldn't. I was like not promiscuous, because people confuse a sexually open girl with a promiscuity,
Right,
but,
which is not the same thing
No,
at all. Yeah.
my mom's best friend was gay growing up. I never felt like sex was something that had to be dirty and it had to be taboo. So it just was like, if it felt right for me, I was going to do it.
That's so interesting. I just like. Oh, okay. So now, Megan, what do you? I assume you've never